Hey everyone, it's Brandy and you are watching Abstract Crafter, and we are back for our second iteration of the Amazon project, Project Amazon, and I have 5 new stores for us. So we're gonna start today with store number 1 of 5. So we will get right into that as soon as I roll those intro credits. Okay guys, this is my first video I'm actually filming after my little hiatus, but it's not going to be the first video you see, so bear with me while I get my bearings back. So I know there's going to be a portion of you disappointed that we're doing Amazon for the next one, but I promise you other stores are in the works. Amazon just comes a heck of a lot faster. In some cases, I'm waiting on all the pieces to fall into place. In other cases, I'm waiting on shipping. It's just, the other places that we look at are a lot slower and not as cohesive, I guess, as it is to do Amazon. So I have not skipped out on any of the other stores that were suggested to me. They just come from China, and so I have a lot to wait on. So I thought, well, in the meantime, let's just do another round of Amazon. The last one I did was in January, and we're getting into April. It most likely will be April when these videos go up. So it's good to do. I'll probably do Amazon like once every quarter or every couple of months, just to see if there's any new stores, if any, I might even do an edition where we go back and buy from some of the same stores. For various reasons, whether it was maybe I'll take the worst painting out of all of them that I got and reorder to see if they've improved, or another store that had other paintings that I liked and I had a hard time deciding, or the cheapest one. And, we'll see. You can leave your suggestions on how we could do something like that. And that'll probably be later on in the year, though. So we got a ways to go for that. So there's plenty of time to leave your suggestions. So the way that these were shipped to me is a little interesting, because I ordered this and I ordered a whole new nail system, like fake nails. So everything arrived to me in pieces, and which we'll definitely talk about, because the way some of these arrived to me is less than satisfactory, I guess. So I kind of want to see how much or how little it affects. So, for example, this big box, you would think, has most of them. I got them in 3 packages, but it's actually only got one that is shoved up against the wall, and there was a book in here with it, of all things, with no protective, like, air packets or bubble wrap or anything like that. So my book was damaged, and I haven't looked in depth at any of the paintings to see what kind of damage there was. So I think the way that we're going to do this round is take the tape off, for one. So you can see here, I'm going to try that there's just the one painting in here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put all of them in here, and we're just going to randomly pick a painting for each video, and it'll kind of be a surprise. I mean, you'll know by the title, but it'll still kind of be a surprise. I don't even really remember, because this was 2 weeks ago that all these orders came in. So let's get all of them put into here. And, and I probably could just make this all one video, but what fun would that be now, huh? And with scoring, I'm going to do scoring off camera, and then I'll just come back to you with the score, and if it lost points for anything, we'll talk about that. Just because scoring does take up a lot of time, and it's not everybody's favorite. So I'm going to try to meet in the middle, so to speak, and just do, the scoring off camera, and then I'll come back and talk to you about it. So this was the only one here that had air pockets in it, and this is the only things that were in this box. So there's that. In the bag, I had a bunch of stuff in here too. They just packed as much as they could into this little mailer. So interesting. So yes, everything will be in this box. I'll just kind of randomly grab one out at the beginning of each video, so we won't really know what was in there, and you'll have to excuse that because I just have to block my address off. Okay. Everything is blocked off. My camera is shaking like the dickens. This camera is a lot heavier than my last one, so I get a lot more of that. So I'm just going to kind of reach around in here. I'm just trying to move them around so that I don't end up grabbing the one that was dropped in there last, I guess. Alright. So no multi-packs, I guess I should say this time. I went all singles, and there's 2 stores. Okay, so before we do that, why don't we talk about the stores? So I'll put them on the screen as well. All of the stores I will link down in the description box as we talk about them. So in this video, it'll just be the one that we unbox or unwrap today. And then in the next video, tomorrow's video, in the next video, part 2, I'll put both stores that we've talked about, and I'll try to like go over each store from the previous video store or stores. So the stores that I looked at today, now 3 of them I have never ordered from, and then 2 of them I hadn't ordered from them, but their names are much like you can find on AliExpress, are a play on a different name, and you'll see in just a second. So the first store I ordered from was called Finecase. Then Diamond Painting Directly. This one I've seen a ton, and I was very interested in seeing what they were all about. Is Air DEA Direct, so AIR DEA Direct, Air DEA all in caps. So I see that all the time. There's another one that's in all caps that I see a lot too. Then Nanixie store. So in the last project, iteration 1, we had Annexy store, and then the store that did the worst last time around was QC Style store. If you remember, it was the 2 wolves in love, and the canvas was becoming separated from the actual adhesive on top, so that one was like a major fail. I think that was the only one out of all of them that I didn't even recommend people buying from. But this time I found one from QC Life Store. So we got 2 of them that are probably the same company with a different name, or with different names. And then 3 stores that I have not heard from before. So I have no idea which one is which. I did write down the name of the painting, so I'll know based on whatever the painting is. So I did get a couple of quote ones, because I just love quotes, if you didn't know from, you know, my front pages. Alright, so I got one. Let's pull it out. Oh, well, go figure. It was the one that actually came in this box. So let's move this box out of the way. We won't need that again until the next video. So, Finecase. This is a love story quote. When I looked at this one in particular, I didn't look at anything but just what they showed me. Oh, and again, I tried to stay within the $50. I actually was under budget this time. Last time I was over budget by about $6 or $7. I was under budget this time. I made sure that not a single painting at the time that I bought it was over the $10. I know last time I gave myself a little bit of play. Say if a painting was $8.99, I allowed myself for the next painting to spend that dollar on another painting. This time I didn't do that. So out of my $50 budget, it came to a total of $46.12. This was entirely paid for by the people that have supported my channel, so I want to pause to thank you guys for that. So if you've ever used my Amazon links or helped my channel out in any way whatsoever, this is all thanks to you. So all of this was paid for by the channel. So when I say I invest back into my channel, I truly mean that. So this was all paid for by viewers like you. What does that remind you of? I hope I don't get sued. Okay, so back to Finecase. So the name of this one is Love Story Quote, and it's got a full quote. And so when I first looked at this one, it was a little hard to read, but I thought, I bet I could do something with that. I bet I could fix that. And then I thought, well, until you see the actual beads, you don't know how much it will or will not affect it. The chart might be dark, and the pictures that they showed might be dark, but that's not necessarily going to be the case for the finished product. So, Finecase. I had actually never seen anything from them before, and the quote, and I'll insert a picture in a minute, it says, "Every love story is beautiful, but ours is my favorite." And I'm just a sucker for stuff like that. If there was a chart available, I wrote that down. I wrote down how many colors it said, and I tried to write down, if I remembered. I didn't remember for pretty much most of the stores, honestly. But I tried to write down how many stars they were when I bought it. So, this, looking at this, it's a 30 by 40. It's a full round. I think all of them are rounds. Unfortunately, I apologize to my square lovers. I didn't look at anything like that. I just bought the painting, and then after it arrived to me, I went back and looked up all the information because I wanted to go in like a very average consumer would. You know, most people don't go in depth into the like questions and answers and reviews and all that stuff that I typically do when I buy from Amazon. I just looked at it. If I liked it and it was under the $10, I bought it. And this was the case. This, at the time, was $8.86. If there is a different price, I will put it on the screen right here. If not, then you can just, then I guess it's safe to assume it's still $8.86. When I first looked at this, it did show the chart as one of the pictures. 'Cause, you know, on Amazon, you get your main picture that goes along with the description, and then on the side, there'll be a variety of pictures. Not all stores have more than just the one that they're showing you, and some have a ton, and this one had plenty. So it showed the chart, and it did show me that it was 19 colors. That was something I wanted to check on. It was a 3-star, so I was a little skeptical, but I didn't read the reviews yet to even see why. They do offer more canvases, and this description was very full, very accurate, very descriptive. A lot of information from that. So you can see it's a little curled, but it's not bent or anything as far as I can tell. So then we got our beads here, and we got our toolkit. We're not going to go in depth about the toolkits, but we will take a look at the beads. But let's just kind of pull this back a little bit, test that glue. Oh, that's really good. Because in the last Amazon project, I had a couple where they just would slide around, but this is really good and tacky. I really like that. Let's see if we can straighten it up a tiny bit and get it to stop being curled. Look at that. Flattens nice and easy. So you can kind of see from here the quote, and as long as this M, that looks like the color of the letters, is a 310, I think it'll be alright. I am not seeing DMCs on the actual canvas. I don't think there is any on the beads either, so that's not ideal. I don't really like having to look up my DMCs, but maybe we'll be able to do another video on that, and where we look up DMCs together, because I know that a lot of people really liked those videos. I'm not really surprised by that, though. It's something that we all like having, is a little bit of cohesiveness and order. You know, I talked about this in one of my very first videos, that there's a reason a lot of us like diamond painting. It feeds to a certain love or OCD or something. It feeds to something in all of us for different reasons. For me, it feeds perfectly into my OCD. It calms it and relaxes it, and having DMC numbers is a big part of that. So it does not look like there are DMC numbers on here. It looks like we got, what we do got on the beads is right there is the item number J4791, and it is on the beads as well. And they do have all the numbers on there, so I don't know. It's kind of weird because you see, oh, never mind. I thought it looked connected in the bag. It looked like it went to 8 to 1. So we'll look at those in just a second. I do want to put in a picture here and then show you a quick picture of the description like we did in the last one. So I'm going to put that in right here. So yeah, I mean, you can see that I knew going in that it wasn't very, and I'm sorry, you're probably going to hear my AC kick in. I love you guys, but I'm not going to shut it off. I think my mic is loud enough to pick up my voice over it. It's just way too hot in my filming area to shut it off, so we're just going to let it kick in and do its thing. It won't stay on for long, I promise you that much. If it does, then I'll shut it off. So yeah, you can see, so yeah, again, I kind of knew that it was a little bit hard to read. It's very abstract. It looks like just, you know, it's very tie-dye, very watercolor-esque. But I loved the quote so much that I was willing to work with it. And, you know, and if it doesn't stand out enough, I know ways to make it a little bit better. So why don't we take a look at these beads really quick and look at our colors, since we don't have DMC numbers to give us an idea of what colors we could have. I mean, you get an idea by looking at the canvas, but those colors aren't always going to be true. They're usually lighter, very rare cases, darker than the colors that are actually going to be there. So 19 colors, sorry. And we'll just go backwards so that we don't have to have that big white stripe in the way. And so now this is showing up very peach, but this is actually like a pink, almost coral color. It's actually the same color as my pinky nail. So that blends in like perfectly. Whoa. So there's our 310. We have some grays there. This is like a brown. Well, obviously. We got a dark green. This is probably like a 550. And I'm noticing a little pattern. There's the gray and it from the one before it. And I thought I saw a brown in there. I guess not. But I'm already seeing like little bits of plastic. So there's probably going to be a little bit of garbage in these. They don't look like they're very well defined, the cuts on them. But we'll see. I mean, they're sparkling pretty good through the bag. So this is like a 550, and there's like the green from the bag before. We got a mint here. It matches this now, a little bit darker. But you got the purple from the bag before. And then we got like a mute. Okay, now that's getting a little bit ridiculous. 1 second. Okay, now I apologize for that. That was a little ridiculous. It was really working, huh? Ooh, and we got a really nice pink. Looks like it goes up in there. And, ooh, I like this color. It's a periwinkle color. And we got a dark blue with a periwinkle. We got a peachy color that's looking yellow on camera with a dark blue in it. We got a very nice dark pink that's obviously meant to go with this pink. It looks red on camera. Man, I need a camera that's more true to color is what I need. And then there's more like my nails. We got more pinks and a little salmon. Ooh, and a turquoise, one of my favorites. Ooh, mauve, like a lavender, dusty rose color with a little bit of lavender. So yeah, we're working with a very beautiful color palette, I would say. We'll just kind of go over that again, just so you can see. I went kind of slow. So you can see that the colors in this are absolutely stunning. I just wish they had DMCs. That's my only wish. This kit would be about perfect if it had the DMC numbers. But, like I said, we'll probably do a video then sometime. I got a lot of videos coming out. I did a lot of recording on my little vacation, so a lot of videos coming out that, so I don't know when this video will be. A lot of pre-recorded stuff, so let's get these folded up and put back in the little bag, and then I will pause really quick and go over scoring. This video won't be too long because it's the first store, so there's not a whole lot to talk about. I will go over the scoring sheet very quickly, just to refresh your memory. But before we do all that, let's measure it and make sure we're getting a 30 by 40. Hope you heard me over all of that. And just really quickly, we'll look at what this toolkit offers. We won't like tear it all apart. But you do get 2 pens. You get a 3-placer in there, a little plate of wax, a mini tray, and some cheap baggies. So it's a very nice toolkit. So let's grab this. So we'll measure it in centimeters since that's the way it was advertised. It did not also, you know, some of them also gave the dimensions in inches, but this was not the case. So we're actually looking at 24, and it's about 3 lines away from 25, so we're not even hitting 30. So it's like 24 3/4. Let me write that down. 24, oh, say 0.75 for my little spreadsheet. So from end to end, and I'm only going to go to this red line because that's where it should have ended, that we're getting exactly 30. So their measurements are the whole canvas and not the actual picture, which I won't go over my pet peeves with that. So we might as well just start here. And yes, from red line to red line, we're hitting 40. So the actual image is only, and it's a little wrinkled, so we'll, not wrinkled, but it's still fluffy. So we'll just do that, and we're hitting at 34.5. So it's actually, sorry. So we're actually looking at 24, we'll say 25, it's very close to 25. 25 by 34.5 instead of the 30 by 40. Very disappointing, Finecase. So let me grab the scoring sheet. I will go over it, but I won't go over all of the scoring with you. I'll just come back and let you know what the score ended up being. Okay, so if you want a more in-depth like walkthrough of my scoring minus the addition of the Amazon point, that is always linked in the description box of every unboxing and post review. So very fast, we're going to go over, there's 10 points allotted to each category, so we'll canvas condition, canvas image based on my first impressions, the clarity of the symbols, which I realize right now I did not give you a close-up of the canvas, so we will do that. Complete bead inventory, if everything's included, so a full kit, like that's what I consider a full kit. The outside packaging, if it was protected well against the elements, packed well for shipping to prevent damage. If the inside was packed nicely, and that means to me, so it was all rolled together in this, and it had a little sleeve put on it. So was everything packed nicely to avoid damage. Sometimes they'll pack them so tight that you'll get like the drill pen or the tray itself jamming into and permanently damaging the canvas. So I look at that, I talk about fast processing and shipping, and that does not mean with Amazon it does. So with Amazon they guarantee me 2-day shipping, so I allow 4 days total. So if it takes more than 4 days, then I knock a point off, basically. For all other places, it just means how fast from the time I ordered to the time they shipped it was that. You know, some stores will take their full time of 7 to 10 days. Some stores will process within 1 to 3 days and get it out and shipped. So with most stores, I do not consider the actual shipping, but because Amazon takes responsibility for shipping, I do look at that. So then instead of 2 points for my first impression, I give that 1 point, and that just is a general, am I happy with my order? Would I order? Again, just based on my first impressions. And then the description, I gave 1 of the points to the description accuracy. How accurate did they describe what I got, and did it match what they said I would get? So all of that will be considered. So let me pause. I will look over this really quick, and then I'll come back and I'll let you know what I ended up giving the final score. Okay, my friends, so after some careful consideration and going over the scoring, I've decided to give Finecase, and I'll put that on my findings on the screen here, a 9.5 out of 10. They lost a half a point only in this category here of the outside packaging because it was in this big box, you know, with no protection. There was no air packets, no bubble wrap. It was just in there to kind of jump around. And I think there was one other thing inside of here. Yes, this was the one with the book. So there's just a book in here. And though my book does not count toward this shipping, my book was damaged. And so I sometimes don't understand Amazon, depending on the warehouse it comes from, is really what it comes down to and how well they package it. Sometimes they pack it super nice and I don't have to worry about damage. But I just don't think that something that's wrapped up like this, that's obviously an art project, should just be in a box like this with a book. I mean, they're two varying weights. So the way it was packed, really just, I didn't appreciate it, but it didn't damage it, so I didn't take the full points away. I almost did take a half a point off for clarity of symbols, but I took a closer look as if I were actually about to put drills on it. So in this area down here is where I was a little concerned, because you can see the N's and the K's are really dark, but when you get up close, it's actually quite different. So I kind of look at how different they are. If they're like close, so like the N and the K are very close, but the K is in white writing and the N is in black. So I can differentiate easily this way. And then the D is actually purple. I know it looks blue on screen when it's mixed in with the blues, but it's actually purple. So it is easy to differentiate. In the words themselves, it's pretty easy. That was the other place I was kind of looking at. And then I always try to look in the clusters of colors if you can tell them apart. And I can easily see all the differences in the colors there. So, not bad. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you prefer this way of scoring, so that I know I'm trying to, you know, accommodate everybody. So the people that do like scoring, and then the people that don't really care for it. Now, they don't have to essentially watch through all of it or try to skip through it to get to my final thoughts. So overall, based solely on first impressions, I like it a lot. I'm very happy. I just want to state this very clearly, because people have been giving me a hard time lately about me being hard on certain companies and certain products. You know, I'm not this hard. I've said it many times, and I'm going to say it again just this one time in this first video of this project. I'm not intentionally hard on products. I'm not even hard on products like this all the time. But with my channel, I made a dedication that I would be as thorough and as honest as possible, so that people knew what to expect if they wanted to buy this. It's just telling you what I think is important, and I very highly encourage you to read the other reviews on Amazon. Look up more reviews to see if other channels are doing reviews on this particular store. Don't just take my word for it. If you want to just take my word for it, I'm very flattered, but I do encourage you to look at other reviews and don't just take my word for it. I'm just one person in a sea of many opinions. We all have our own opinions. That is what makes this world so great, is that we are all entitled to our own opinion. How boring would it be if we all agreed on the exact same points and the exact same thing and saw beauty in the exact same things? It would be so boring. So this is just my small input in a big sea of opinions. So with that, I will let you go. I couldn't tell you what the next store is. We'll have to draw from the box and see. So I'm very excited to get into this again, especially to see those two stores that had slightly different names from two of the stores from the first project. So with that, I will let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun diamond painting, have fun crafting, have fun doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.